Good morning, everybody. Second here. Get reset up. Had one of those tech moments of having to reinstall Windows last night. Oh, things are a little out of order. All right. So, yesterday was a little enthusiastic, to say the least. A little bit of a shock day, I might say. Let me explain why. Certainly was a shock to me, meaning it didn't do what I expected it to do, which was, I'll explain. Everybody in the green room knows because Uh, okay. Give me a second here to get my little thing set up here. Everything gets out of whack, it's just like. I'm to find this stuff. Maybe they call it a pen. There we go. Drawing pencil. Okay. So, should I have thought about the news? I don't know. I don't know. But this was that's not what the hell I want. I don't even know what the frig that is. Anyway, look what the hell this thing's doing. Hold on to find out what this one works. Look, it's ridiculous. These things, this program, I'm telling you, like all these other programs, they're all the same. 95% of the stuff that's in there, I don't use it or I don't even know what the hell it does. Anyway, I saw this right in the middle of the day yesterday, and I was like, all right, head and shoulders top, it's breaking down, short it. For sure, it's going for a gap fill. All right. It was like a swing. I figured, okay, blah, blah, blah. This goes down here. Lo and behold, it was a shock morning. I had my stop up here. And of course, it hit my stop, gapping above the freaking bars high, which is, of course, so is bullish. How much more could have gapped above here, of course, but it gapped up to the bars high. So lo and behold, uh, was a little bit of a shock morning. For the size of that gap on the economic news. And today, there was some economic news, and the markets are jiggling around here, which we'll take a look at. Let's see, I can clean up this mess now. And how do I get rid of that crap? Okay. It's probably for people that draw these fancy things that figure out where the markets are going and where support and resistance is and all this mumbo jumbo. Anyway, yeah. Use trend line channels and all that. Bad tick over here, so I'll drag that down. You see, Qs are moving down. Where are they? Gapping down. We still got 13 minutes to go. So for gapping down, where was the low? Gapping down almost to the low of that wide range breakout bar. So a little bit of shock for the bulls this morning to some degree. We'll see if it recovers or not. Looking at the 65-minute chart, it's only on top of that pivot high. You can see the cursor there. So, the size of the gap down is pretty bearish, but it's not violating any support. It's an inside gap. It can recover from that. We'll see if it does. Today's only Thursday. Weekly chart is bullish. This is bullish. It's in an uptrend. It'll take today and tomorrow before this gets marked as a pivot, assuming the lows stay above there. That would make a new pivot high and would become our new major support. It did not fill the gap, so still got an unfilled gap there. S&Ps trading range inside there. Not quite as bullish, but the fangs were on fire and just blast off. And where did it stop? At the secret resistance, which is available to everyone by looking to the left. They're pulling back into the void, close the void, upward void. Let's see. Does it come back down? I'm a gun to play with. Oh, uh, Dr. McGraw, you're talking about the gamma gun. He went off on the deep end with his option strategies. So he posts on YouTube. Dan, you'll find this kind of funny. Not funny, but he's a great guy. We call him McGraw because when he was in the green room, before he got totally into, zero DTE and options, um, Dan would mention a symbol and he'd buy it. He'd be in it. So we call him McGraw, quick draw. The little donkey thing from the cartoons with the holsters. Anyway, when I post these midday updates and they go on to X where he posts stuff over there and he tells everybody, he goes, these guys are good. He goes, that's where I learned stuff. He says they don't do all of this. I don't even know what they call what the hell they do. He says, but they figure out the same areas that we do just by looking at charts. Yeah. McGraw started in the green room. I don't know. Dan would remember. He'd probably let you know. I forget. It was several years ago. Anyway, inside day here. No big deal. I think moving. We'll see where it goes. Um, but it was funny. Like if you see the stuff that he posts and some of the stuff people post where they go to the moon, to Mars, to Uranus and back again with all of these numbers and to figure out where they should trade zero DTE. And it's like, okay, I get it. These guys are just big brains. Continuing to flow its way down here. Describe flow, define flow. Bars that open in the area of the prior bar's close continue in the direction of the prior. They open in the prior bar's close area, continue again, do the same, continue again, and they're continuing right now. Can it be a turn day? Maybe, or maybe it goes lower. And so there's nothing to stop it from going down. Let's look to the left over here. And it would appear that somewhere down here is where this is headed. And so the best thing to do in a situation like this is actually look at the diamonds or the cash market and see if you find any support. And so yesterday, things had opened higher, pulling back, and there's little to nothing to stop this from going down. So we'll have to see, what Dow stocks may be moving. Boeing's been doing much better. That seems to be turning around, but this kind of a bar looks like it should keep coming down. But if we get a reversal back up, let's see where the diamonds are. The diamonds don't update pre-market too much, but they were gapping lower and turning around. Maybe they can make a turn. I'm just eyeballing this as far as retracement goes, but I think a little further down, and you see where the cursor is on those overlapping bars there, that would be, I think, an ideal spot to try and make a turn. What we've been looking for, of course, yesterday foiled that bias of prices pulling back over the several days to where they'd form a buy setup to get a little end of year rally based on our internals, which, thank God for backups and saving stuff, man, because this would have been, I still got some things to fix up, but, breadth has been coming down. So under the hood, things are, deteriorating a bit, not terribly, but breadth is still elevated, so there's that bullish sentiment. I'd like to see maybe a down day today, this to come off of the highs here, and then we see if we can get some turns. Um, we'll see how that goes. All right, Russell futures, down in an area where they could turn, but there's no strength yet. Here was the economic news this morning, and I was messing with this stuff, so I didn't even get to see what happened. But there was a whipsaw there. Maybe it can make a turn. We'll see. But this could be a bit of a topping pattern where it's ready to take a dive. You know, and so that's holding for the moment. Let's just put this on a 180-minute chart to condense this because I want to look to the left. And sometimes look, see the way it went up. There's nothing there, but you know. Well, okay. So there is a pivot there. There is something there to possibly hold. But the best thing to do is look at IWM, which we'll do. USA core PPI year over year for November, 3.4 versus, so inflation went up a little bit. What? Prior was 3.4, so so inflation up a little bit. And yesterday's numbers were the same, right? There wasn't this decrease. So we know that, and we've been talking about, yes, they're going to cut. And so, yesterday here, we talked about this, all this talking heads on CNBC, what are they going to do? The quarter, just look at the freaking chart, right? If they would just look at this chart, but then these guys wouldn't be getting paid $100,000 and $150,000 a year to give their views on, what the Fed is going to do. We just look at this chart. It's like, yeah, they're going to cut. Hang your hat on that. Right? Same thing here in 2022. We tell everybody, look out. Right? Some bad times are coming. They're going to start raising interest rates. Charts tell us what's going on. All right. Interest rates, 10-year, inching up. Apparently it looked like it was going to continue down, but it's at this pivot high. So we'll see what happens there. Gold, getting a little shellac there. It's just a messy chart. Silver was improving. And I will get to SPY, Don. Silver flipping down a little bit. Still not bad. We'll see if it can reverse. Crude oil. This is the one that we're really interested to see if it violates these lows. I've been talking about for about a month or so as to whether this breaks down below those lows or not. So far they're up. So oil was up yesterday. I think, oil was up yesterday, and I think KRE was hanging up there and gave it up. It's just it's messy. It's messy. Look, this looks to me like a topping pattern, which hasn't clicked under there yet. So we'll see what happens there. Keep an eye on KRE and XLF. Semiconductors found some life yesterday with, was it AVGO? Wild. So maybe I'm starting to see, sometimes you start seeing things, right? Is that beginning to form a head and shoulders? Right shoulder isn't formed yet, but that's what I'm thinking. We'll see whether it goes up or not. So I'm not sure about that. They cut interest rates, I think, in Europe. So the dollar is up. Right? Someone asked me about this head and shoulders on YouTube. They were, and I said, okay, I see it, but that's starting to break higher. So the dollar's going higher, and you can see currencies here. Euro starting to break lower. Pound rolling lower. Canadian dollar. Go to Canada. Go to Canada and spend some money. Right? It's too far away from me. But when I lived in New York, it was a pleasure to go to Canada. You go there and your dollar's worth a whole bunch more. Right? Yeah, there you go. Robert's going there to Montreal. Go with your dollars. Help their economy. See, that's a lesson in of itself of understanding currencies, and how your currency being worth more than another country. You can go to another country and you can buy clothes, you can buy dinners, you can go buy property, so when the dollar's weak here and the British pound at one point, remember, was like $2 and a dollar, to one, they come over here from here and let me buy that house. Let me buy that house. That $100,000 house, I can buy that condo. It's 50,000 for me. All right. SPY numbers didn't get hit yesterday. SPX is gapping almost to the low of yesterday's bullish bar. So another lesson in shocks. Bulls are getting a little shock treatment this morning. Right? Would have been fair to think it could gap up. There was news coming, so now it's gapping down. So it's a trading range mess. And SPX, all my little chart artist stuff is here because I backed my stuff up. Let's get rid of that. All right. So yesterday's high, unlikely. This is gapping down here. Put side down the low, going down there. Maybe. Still relatively tight. I wouldn't say these are no-brainers, because markets can move that much. We haven't had a no-brainer in a while. But things are in a trading range here. So pick your spot. The best thing to do is just wait to see if the markets plunge lower. This number will go down. If they do start to plunge under this low, then you can go for that call strike, but you might have to go for 60.90. And I'd say that's about it for me. XLK, we looked at SMH. That's gapping down. So it looks like for the moment, it's going to be a little bit of a sell day, and we'll see if that gets out of hand. All yours, Dan.
Yeah, two inflation numbers. I said yesterday I was kind of shocked. The Qs were so pretty strong with inflation just meeting expectations. Well, CPI, today PPI. And I'm actually shocked today that it's not even down worse. This, inflation is sticking. All right. Alarms. I had a low alarm go off emitter, but I don't see anything. Arjen, Sam brought this to my attention yesterday. It's up a lot here, but I love the weekly and monthly. Great multiple time frame alignment. I don't see any volume, but I had an alarm at 157 go off. Don mentioned WTW. We have a lot of. See, now this is not a CLIMO because it's at the rising 50 and it's not far from the 20. But this one is. You see the difference? They both have fluid bars down. I mean, this one's cracked all kinds of support. It's still on my watch list just to trade a bounce. We're traders, maybe target 220 to 222 is all. But, this one is stronger. Still in an intermediate term uptrend, even though it took out the prior low. And so that's on my list. Coke was on our list yesterday. I shorted $62 puts on it that went against me. And now look at it, back to yesterday's high. I didn't think Coke was that volatile. Let's go to earnings. There's not many of them. Adobe, it's a Wall Street loved company. Cap in here, major support. Major support, 480 to 490. The nasty gap, I don't see that recovering for a long time, but today's Thursday. I love selling credit spreads on Thursday because then you only have one day of risk and still make makes some pretty good premium. So that's on my list. That's an excessive gap. Um, YouTube asking about EXE. Yeah, yeah, it's made the turn, bullish weekly, monthly. Sure. EXE. And yeah, EQT. Yeah, Greg found this on MT Live yesterday when we were scanning. I got that on my list already, hoping for a 1, 2, 3. It's not a great entry right here. It's up a lot. You got a buy set up on the weekly. So ideally, you want um, you want 1 or 2 inside bars. Back to earnings. NDSN 235. Nasty gap in the middle of no man's land. So I don't have a bias. OXM, no great pattern. Possible condor if you can get anything for the 85s and 75s. Sienna was down. Look at that. Now it ripped to the upside. This used to be a high flyer in the 90s. Sienna Networks. LQDT, excessive gap. Possible 30-minute low, call spread. Just as a big gap. Now, see, it looks huge now, but at the market open, it's going to scrunch this data to force the 31s on here. And then, based on the first 30 minutes, we'll know whether or not it's a pattern that we want to do that. And love, the Sam's love stack is in trouble today. That's a nasty gap. So I got no bias. Otherwise, it was a bull rectangle. So there's a shock pattern for the bulls. Well, that's it on earnings. Let's see what else is on my list. CPRT is making the turn. Yeah, Sam gave me these yesterday. DKS. I'm not crazy about a directional except day trade only, but and the 210 puts, I forget they were either not juicy or too spreading. Right, again, we talked about LOW closing breakdown on the 15. I said that would be a good day trade short. Wow, we had a put spread on this and we got out on this bounce and on Monday. That was a good decision. So yeah, day trade short idea. Sherwin, down a lot near support, but no turn. Goldman gave AT&T an upgrade, but no pattern. UNH got whacked yesterday with some proposed legislation that's going to crimp their profits. Chewy's doing a secondary offering, but I mean the daily's a mess. But it's so Alex, you heard me say this 100 times. You don't have to tell me. I'm staring at multiple time frames right on this little laptop. Look, look at this. Higher highs, higher lows, rising 20, buy setup, breakout on the monthly. So I set an alarm at whatever it was, 32 something or other. Because if it can negate this gap down for whatever reason, then it's on my long watch list. Let's CMC. Why am I looking at you? I don't know, but now it's gapping down to 60. So I'm just going to delete you. EFX. I think this got an upgrade. And, it's a potential bottoming pattern daily. It's a sell setup weekly. But the 20 MA is flattening. It broke out here. So I have more of a bullish bias. Let's see if I can take out a 30-minute high, maybe put spread. T10, I read they're gonna their IPO, I think, is coming out today. Cross Exhibit A for trading bios, one of their drugs, whatever bad news. And look at the $70 to 18. That's some pain right there. I mean, Uber got killed yesterday because of the, Google coming after them. Google and Tesla are the leaders in the automated taxi Uber situation. Look at that strength in Tesla. I am so mad we didn't give a directional on this little gap. We gave the put spread, but you know, big deal when you leave 50 to $60 on the table and you made whatever credit as a put spread. IMRX. I just saw this thing blasting pre-market. Now it gave it up. No interest. Alex mentioned MCO. It's a bull flag. Bull flag buy setup, sure. I said ideally this would be a nice 30-minute high. I'm going to set an alarm at 498.10. And EXE. Okay, that's what YouTube brought to me. LUV. Buy setup watch. I have an alarm. A cart alarm. We did a call spread. Looks great. Uh, let me just say move stop break even for now, and then I'll let it. In 5 minutes, I'll come back and fine tune it. But let me get through these alerts like I always do. MMC. All right, gapped up, coming in. Where did I get filled on? Coke. All right, so Don, remember Coke went against me yesterday? I just typed in Don. Don, did you know that you are an ETF? All right, so Coke, I just got filled on my short puts at a profit. I just put out an order pre-market. So I'm done with Coke. Not the Coke Sam loves to consume. I'm talking about Coca-Cola. Bro alarm, I said, Climo. Let's put Bro. Well, here, I don't need MSTX. We shorted naked puts. I'm going to put Bro in its place. This would be a wonderful $100 put trade, but the puts are too spready. Let's see where our MSTX is. This is a levered micro strategy. Wow, it's spready. Very spready. You know what I'm gonna do? The higher strike, 86.5 is 0 by 170. I'm going to bid 25 cents. And this is what we went over in coaching, where I get a free put spread. If I get filled, of course. So that's what I am doing there. YouTube Mindy is also a flag. No, that is not a flag. That's a trading range. It was more of an M top from here. And now it's a trading range from here to here. Yeah, there's no flag on that. and I have zero bias. That was yesterday's MT Live about, you know, trade the pictures you want to trade that are in your trading plan. And to me, there's no picture here. AON. Yeah, we can put AON. Put it here in the bottom right. Let me see what Adobe looks like. Just for the fun of it, so the 480s I'd consider. Right now, yeah, there's shoes, and they're actually tight, 211 by 229. Greg, the 470s naked are 75 cents. I know it's only 934, but as of right now, yeah, I got a put spread bias here. It's just a matter of how long you want to wait, see if it's going to hold. There's no right answer, but I like the pre-market, and I like this little 180 reversal. So let's keep an eye on this for a naked put or a put spread.
At what price?
470.
You can do it.
All right. Oh, Sam, you should have a nice profit, right? It's going to eat a lot of buying power since it's naked. Let's come back to the cart and the horse. All right, midpoint 42.89 up here. 42.72. That evidently happening tomorrow, PanW. In the 90s, stock splits used to be such a great um, trading like strategy. Trading on the news, and it was with Dell Computer. Dell, it was so reliable of trading, you know, on the announcement and leading up to the date and after it. There was like 3 separate dates. We're still in Dale short and W. Nice, nice 15-minute bar, but no daily pattern. Greg, I'm glad we didn't get filled on this. Remember, we were going to do a call spread on this. WRB. Yeah, I would like it a whole lot better if it you know didn't have this failed buy setup, but it's what we call the second go around. You just don't expect a new high. But again, let me look for a put spread. That's 60 to 50 MA would be no brainer. 20 by 95. All right, this MSTX, even though it's going against us a couple bucks, we still have an open profit. All right, this REGN, no, that's not a Argent. All right, so this one, Sam, is still this holding well. I like it. Yeah, see the Qs and spiders on the 15 are getting in the middle of no man's land with a void. So, based on that pre-market data, is a 180 reversal. I think it's going lower. Argent, I'll set a new alarm at 156.50. Ring. All right. So yeah, ring payday was yesterday. 38.84. Oh, that's where I already moved it. All right, cool. Are you talking about Ferris Bueller, Steve? You're watching the movie? That was a great movie, wasn't it? Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I'm paying attention to you, Ferris Bueller. Remember Intuit? We saw in MT Live also, no pullback, and the spreads were too wide for a put spread unless you went to next week. All right, those are all my alarms, fairly quiet. Hey, MMC. It's a climb at the 200, maybe 30-minute high. And WTW, same 30-minute high. it's stabilized here, but it's still no potent turn. So again, I would like it so much better if it had a couple downside shakeouts to prove that it doesn't want to go lower. Microsoft ripping. Wow. I read that they were taking out 70, I forget how much. So, they had to take a hit on that investment in GM. Apple was the weakest bang into the close yesterday, and it's the weakest today. Cisco's ripping here also, but no pattern. Tesla might be getting toppy. If this were zero DTE, I would do one. But it's because of the pre-market data is my little M reversal with, a, a, a retest. I'm not brave enough to do it for tomorrow, but if it were Friday, I'd be looking. All right, our Qualcomm call spread went against us yesterday. Now it's looking better. But at least we added on the bounce. Let's set an alarm 159.50. Low alarm 160, 156.50. And no, we canceled it, Steve, because it was too spready. But no, we still did not get filled, and it might have even been you. I thought somebody told me. He said, "Hey Dan, the spreads are negative 30 to like 35 cents, something like that." And I said, "No, heck with that." And I sent out an adjustment canceling. But secondly, Steve, it only triggered under a 5-minute low. So it didn't trigger for two reasons. Yeah, Q spiders ain't bouncing here. So, Greg's old saying, go down because it's not going up, could be coming to fruition here very shortly. MCO up alarm. Nothing to do, but Alex, this was yours. And I said maybe 30-minute high. Let me just set a higher alarm now at 498.10. Oh, that's where I had it already. Wow, that one little pop set the alarm off. And now it's back down. Remember, we were watching Odaffle. I'm gonna cancel Odaffle. Actually, I'm not, because if it triggers, it's still okay. But pool, obviously, we're gonna cancel. What about Trin is pending? Let's cancel Trin. Yeah, Sam, your LOW. I said pre-market. Yeah, I liked it. Day trade. But Thai. I don't like these that are down so much. So I don't like that one. Don, your WTW alarm. I just don't like the market falling here. The market, this could be on its own page because it got shellacked, but it's not bad. There's a number of patterns that look like this. WTW. Let's check the put department. The 300s, 0 by 250. So yeah, I think I checked yesterday. We actually have very light inventory. I'm gonna go through them real quick. But you could day trade Willis Tower right here, stop below. Stop below. All right, these are our opens. 98. So that's pulling in a little bit. DV's been dead money. JCI, we have long calls. That's been dead money. Our mitter is fine. Ring we looked at. Let me look again about legging into covered call. Last time I looked, the spreads were nuts. Spiders, the weakest here on the 5 minute and 15. Hey, let's check 0 DTE on spiders. All right, so this would be the 40. And we could do the 43s on ring for 55 cents. That ain't bad, actually. Let's do that. Let me check spiders first. The 609, 0. 6 cents. I don't think so, homie. You're better off just buying a put for a scalp. I thought you were in that yesterday. It's 12, yeah, 12:20, never mind, that's right. Yeah, Brent, that's a much better idea. When I looked at them, they were too spready to do that. But yeah, that's a much better idea. No, that's why you got filled against us. All right, this Mystex, we have an open profit. Midpoint is 40. Finally tightened up. Yeah, yeah. I remember yesterday saying I liked it as a put spread, that it was sloppy for directional. Let me look again. I would love, I'd even do the 140s for tomorrow. That's a powerful bar following yesterday's bar. 25 cents is all. What about the one? Let's do the one. All right, yeah, at least let's do one for next week. And they're a little spready. 135, 131. All right, here we go. See, that started coming in. Wait, did I do this right? Hey, WTW is going. Yeah, 135, 131. All right, 136. Chewy up alarm. Remember what I said about that? If it could recover. Yeah, small little breakdown failure, but